I saying your name right? Not literally.
So, my story's about Craigslist, and more specifically, misconnections on Craigslist, because they're weird. And if any of you aren't familiar with that little corner of the internet playground, the way it works is that if you are a big wimp, it's perfect. You see somebody who's cute, instead of going to talk to them, you just go post about it online and just cross your fingers and hope they see it. It's creepy. You don't think that's a good way to get to know people, but people love it. And I love it, and so I got really excited about a year ago when somebody posted one about me. And I responded, and we went out. It's really fun. They robbed me. But whatever, like I said, it's really exciting. And so I got another one about 3 months later, and I responded because I was like, it's cool. So I hadn't actually seen the second person, but beggars can't be choosers. So we made plans to go eat at Bonte, which is that coffee shop on Walnut Street. They sell Belgian waffles and they're banging. So I show up, and the only person there other than the guy who worked there is this really little girl. She looked like she should be in junior high, very, are you there, God, it's me, Margaret. And so I'm just going to step out of the story for a second, though, to say, I know that I look like I'm 12, don't have thoughts about pots and kettles and stuff, I know, but it's still illegal, even though I look little. So I started panicking, and I was looking around the corner, that guy from To Catch a Predator is going to be there, and I'm thinking, is he going to buy my story when I say, I was just really happy that somebody thought I looked cute that night at Olive Garden, and I should have known there, Olive Garden, that's a bad thing, but I went in anyway, and I went to meet her, and she was like, hey, I'm Mary, and I was like, hi. My fear started to dissipate. We go to order food. I order a waffle, and she said she didn't do carbs. And I was like, oh my God, strike one. Because I don't date girls who don't eat. That's annoying. But it's a date, and that's really rude to say to somebody. So I didn't say anything. We went and sat down, and we started to talk. I started to talk because she also, besides not doing carbs, she didn't do anything. She was the most boring person I've ever met. She had nothing to say to me. Everything was yes or no answers, and so I was like, okay, well, boring person, boring questions. I said, where do you work? And she said she worked at a gentleman's club. And I was like, so you're a stripper. And just my luck, the guy who worked there was, he had just come to bring me my waffle, and he looked at me and winked at me we're in some kind of secret club. And I was like, no, this is terrible. I want to date with world's most boring stripper. So it was terrible, but then awesome, because 2 minutes later he came back with 2 waffles, and he was they're on the house. And so, terrible, awesome. But it turns out that was all I had to ask, because she wouldn't shut up. And there's this goldfish girl who just keeps blinking at me, stripper, whatever. And she said she doesn't eat on days she worked, and wants to know if I want her waffle, and I'm like, yes. So now I have 3 waffles, but I'm still on a date with world's most boring stripper. And remember how I said she looked really young? That's actually relevant, because one of the things she told me was she was really excited to go to work tonight because one of her favorite clients was coming, and he liked her because she reminded him of Lolita. And that's really gross. You don't ever want to be on a date with somebody who's just really cool with things. Pedophile bait. It was gross. So I kept eating and she kept talking, and I think the day ended when my grandma called me, because my life is a series of unfortunate events. But I don't know, the moral of the story would be don't talk to strangers, but sometimes it's fun.